Hey everybody, Radamon here. Thanks for tuning in to Oxygen Not Included. So last episode, we sent out our second ship, which is going to allow us to do a considerable amount of research. So we take a look at the research tree. We have already researched solid boosters, and we are going to fly past some of the other research that we need. A great many of you pointed out that somehow I managed to rebuild the Gantry literally exactly where it was built last. I will be fixing this. Oh my goodness. And prioritizing, as you can see, the digging out of the regolith, because of course that regolith is going to be in the way, and breaking down the plastic tiles, or breaking down the, plastic tiles and the gantry. Another thing I wanted to do is we are running out of a little bit of power shortage. So what I'm going to do temporarily, because the transit tubes are what dramatically use the most power, I am going to just disable them. They are going to be disabled until I have the hydrogen geysers back in full flow. If you take a look at the colony reports about power use, let's see the yesterday's report, because that's going to make a lot more sense. Power usage. If you look at what used the power here, the transit tube access used about 664 kilojoules, and the thermal aquatuner, about the same. So one thing I can do, now that I'm really no longer going to need steam power, is I'm going to disable the aquatuner that I have up there. And I'm going to disable the aquatuner I have in here. Actually, I'm going to power down this entire system until I need it. So it will be sort of an on-demand. So I'm intentionally ceasing a whole lot of stuff. Now, some things don't get powered down. So the hydrogen that is pumping into the nullifier is still going to pump into the nullifier, cooling down this chamber. Which is something I actually want done. But as you can see, the hydrogen that I have is running out. So what I'm also going to power down 2 hydrogen generators as well, just to reduce the use of hydrogen. So for the coolant line, we have both of the coolant diverging and converging here. So it is very, very, very easy to have this skip. All I really need to do to fix this is that. That's it. That will skip the thermal aquatuner and save us a whole lot of power. And I'll be looking to do some sort of power improvement projects as well. So let's go to construction and go to 9 and kill that there. And now we should see, oh, interesting, I don't need those wires. We should see a significant decrease in the amount of power that we require daily. And I'm just going to head and fix some of these little issues, because I am the world's greatest architect, which is a false statement. Carbon asteroid, we have, it's coming back. It's coming back, so that's something else to consider. So if we take a look at the plumbing, some of this petroleum is sort of stuck. What it could do is just a temporary bridge to allow it to flow back. But of course, because the aquatuner down here is not aquatuning, the coolant line is going to sit. Now, this is only a problem if the coolant line phase changes, which it could do, right? That's why I'm taking a look at the coolant. But right now, the coolant line does not look like it's going to phase change. It might be worth keeping this aquatuner flowing, or at least having some way for some alternative way for the petroleum to circulate without an aquatuner. if I really do want to save power. That's another possibility. All right, let's speed time up. And another thing I want to do is sweep. I'll have it be priority 8. Sweep this up. So yeah, here's our detractable gantry. Hopefully it detracts exactly what it needs to. So the reason I'm shutting this down is we're really not going to need steam anymore. With the research that our ship is grabbing right now, this ship here, we'll be able to skip. We'll be able to basically not use steam anymore. Just it will be a propellant of the past, I think is the way to put it. So, a little reminder, I am making the monument building a priority of ours, which does mean making sure that I am cranking out the steel. Now, one of the reasons I have this paused is the hydrogen in the steam turbine bays were getting a little hot, and I wanted to give them a chance to cool off, just for security's sake. And then also, elsewhere, we had the hydrogen in here getting a little hot, and we wanted to cool that off as well. Now, there would be another way to cool down the coolant. The alternative way without an aqua tuner is to use the nullifier and all the wheezeworts to make this very, very cold hydrogen, and then just have radiant pipes. That would be a very power-efficient way of, causing cold. Can I say that? Causing cold? I don't know, but that's the wordings I'm going to use because it is correct. So here we are going to do a sweep-only crude oil at 1, and here we're going to do a sweep-only petroleum at 1, just so that we have a place to put petroleum and oil. Taking a look at the temperatures here, though, this area is definitely getting hot, to the point where, like, this water here is at slight risk of boiling. Slight. But non-zero chance. Yeah, let's... At some point, it might be worth me setting up a fully, air-conditioned system, but I don't really want to invest in that if I don't have to. Call it lazy or whatever. I don't care. It's a big project, and it's not something I particularly care to do. So now that the bunker doors are clean of regolith, I will slot them open. And let's take a look at our colony report. Right, power usage for yesterday versus the day before. So the day before was 3,300 kilojoules, and then I dropped this down to 2,700 kilojoules. I'm trying to be a little bit more power efficient. These will vary greatly depending on, do the auto sweepers have something to sweep? Do the auto miners, robo miners have something to mine? So on and so forth. It is very variable, and that's fine. That's totally fine. As you can see, I'm pretty close to browning out in a lot of spots. My batteries are definitely close to browning out. Now, one of the things I could do is let's enable these things to tune up our coal generators so that they are running a little bit more efficiently. And really soon, we will be able to welcome home our astronaut. He is pretty soon going to make an appearance. So there are some other untapped power sources. There is this natural gas geyser here, which I have obviously not utilized yet, but I could. There's some gold amalgam that I can mine out here. So that might be a good investment project to tap that, because it would just be so simple to pipe this to my storage. And then there's, of course, if we take a look at power here, there's, of course, other methods of power generation. There is the petroleum generator, which converts petroleum or ethanol into electrical power. It produces carbon dioxide and polluted water. If I could start setting those up, and of course, with the petroleum generator, I can make my own ethanol from the arbor trees that I have. So I could have an ethanol distiller. Now, the ethanol distiller, of course, requires power, so it is investing power into distilling my lumber into ethanol. But then it will net positive. It will net positive power in the long run because the ethanol or the petroleum generator will be a net power source. So here's the rocket. Perfect timing. With it landed, let's close the bunker doors. And we're going to have a new artifact, or maybe not. Apparently not. The Gantry. Oh, come on. And sine curve is going to be unassigned. Oh, is this Gantry not? This Gantry doesn't reach. Interesting. Maybe I didn't make an error with the Gantry. Maybe I did move it. I don't know. Second guessing myself. But either way, I know that where it was now, yeah, it needs to be right here. Where it was previously did not work. Let's hope I don't have to constantly replace the Gantry. I think I shouldn't have to. Alright, automation wires, a little bit longer, and we'll set this up as construct 9. We've already hauled all of the, the data banks away. So now it's just a matter of getting sine curve out of there and allowing him to conduct said research. All right, I am doing a little bit of overproduction, but it's only maybe like less than 1% of my entire power grid. Okay, so there we are. We actually are able to exit now. The next rocket that I'll be launching is not likely to be a steam rocket. Because steam rockets won't, without boosters at least, won't be able to get anywhere. So, yeah, we'll be launching something totally novel and new, which is interesting. I think. Not that you asked me, but that's how I feel about that. So, let's take a look at the research tree. Let's start to get hydrocarbon combustion. And that will be our next project for sine curve while I work on my monument. So, speaking of the monument, the steam chamber here is still pretty hot, but it is cooling down to the point where maybe it's okay to start cranking out the steel again. One of the positive effects of cranking out the steel, of course, is that it does generate power. So, in a power-strapped environment that I'm in right now, right, because I am power-strapped, one of the advantages of, making steel is that, surprise, surprise, it actually benefits us in the long run in terms of power. All right, I'm just going to move this Weezwort because it is quite cold in this oil refinery, and I might as well just install it here where my liquid water is, near boiling. Done. See? So easy, so easy. Okay, so if I wanted to tap the natural gas that's down here, I could also expand my natural gas grid. So that would be a very meaningful investment project. Now, if you take a look at what I did last time, what I did last time was a little bit different because I dug this geyser out knowing what it was. And this time, I don't have that opportunity because the geyser's already revealed, right? It's already out in the open. So what I'm going to do is create a large box around it, like this, and sort of enclose it before opening it up. So that's going to look something like that. And then I'll put in a liquid lock here, just probably a crude oil basic liquid lock like I did up there. Did they have... So up here I did a vacuum gap. The vacuum gap was to try to prevent heat transfer from the very, very hot geyser to the surrounding area. But down below, I don't really need a vacuum gap because this is a slime biome. It doesn't really matter if it heats up because... it just doesn't matter if it heats up. I don't know how else to explain that. So yeah, because this is a slime biome, I don't really need to go to the same precautions to preserve the surrounding environment. One of the things I can do, though, is furniture, flower pot. Depending on body temperature, I would want, because obviously this is going to start releasing slime lung, I'm going to want to deodorize and put a flower pot down so that we, let's do all this, so that we make sure that slime lung doesn't start to creep. I'm just trying to keep slime lung under wraps everywhere I can. And actually, let's do a quick slime lung assessment. Not that it's really, I mean, I'll be honest, slime lung is not that dangerous. I just like going to the effort to remove it. You know, to make sure that I don't have aerosolized or in the air slime lung. It's just something that's important to me. So I do have some slime lung over here. Yeah, I have considerable amounts of slime lung in this oxygen up here. Part of that is because I have unswept slime. So that makes sense. And it's pretty easy to fight as long as the body temperature is okay. We just put down a buddy bud. Buddy bud produces floral scent. Floral scent overrides the slime lung. Bada bing, bada boom. We don't have slime lung anymore. Or, alternatively, which is the long way to do it, you can just... Well, as you can see, there is some chlorine gas here. Chlorine gas will naturally kill slime lung. So if you take a look at the chlorine gas that has slime lung, as you can see, it's just always, you know, heading to 0. But yeah, so there's definitely several different ways to combat slime lung, and I'm not going to be chlorinating my entire map. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous, but I'll go to some lengths to get rid of it, if and when it makes sense and is possible. So yeah, this right here is probably outgassing some slime lung as well. Yep, no surprise there. And I haven't really paid attention to it in a while, so let me just, you know, neurotically kill off the slime lung. It's just so easy to kill, might as well. Alright, if we take a look at the colony reports... Yes, so I am on a downward trend of power required, trying to conserve, you know, as much as I can. Another thing I can do, I forgot that this was disabled, is to enable the power control station for tune-ups. And while I'm looking at all that polluted water be generated from those natural gas generators, let me do some water cycling. My giant pure tank of water. I suppose if my ranch population is okay, it's recovering. I'll just keep incubating, but of course incubation requires power as well. You know, pretty much everything I'm doing here requires power to some degree or another. So the incoming coolant is about 130 Fahrenheit, or what is that, 80 or 54 Celsius. So, yeah, we will be having coolant flowing through the system soon, but not at this very moment, because Oh, you know what? I put the liquid bridge on the wrong side. Oops. Yeah. Well, I could fix that. There. It's not a high priority. Doesn't really matter. So, if I'm going to be relying more on natural gas, I might actually want to add another natural gas generator at some point. So let's see, is the Buddy Bud? Yeah, the Buddy Bud is already doing what it does, which is to kill off slime lung, and this is becoming more sterilized. Because I don't necessarily want a bunch of natural gas pumped in to my natural gas chamber that has slime lung on it, because it would be harder and more annoying to kill if that was to happen. So I'm trying to avoid that situation as best as I am able. Right, some debris, I don't know how, but some debris got on my plastic tiles, so I'm going to sweep that up as a high priority so it doesn't melt the plastic. If we take a look everywhere, mostly the plastic is just neutral, sort of warm but room temperature. Except for where we have plastic with regolith on it. So as you can see, it's much, much, much hotter here. So it's really important to make sure that if you're using plastic tiles for mobility's sake, to make sure that your plastic does not, you know, get debris, space debris, which is very hot on it. If you want to avoid that, you can always use metal tiles, which is obviously not that sensitive to temperature, but still has all the run speed benefits. But of course, you know, having a bunch of metal tiles might be a little bit more complicated. It really depends on the setup that you have for your base. Whether you're well set up for mass production of metals or not. So this will be my liquid lock. Did I build the liquid lock wrong? That looks weird to me. No, it's right. Just, I don't know. Brain's a little fuzzy today. Let's chalk it up as that. All right, so here's my little liquid lock, and we're gonna want to prioritize all this back to 8. And this is just taking priority because of my hello. What are you doing out here? Because of the, I wouldn't say lack of power, because I still have a lot of power and power generation capabilities. As you can see, in fact, my my batteries are full. So maybe I'm fine. I don't even know. That's interesting. I don't know how I got full. Maybe it was all the steam power? No, I don't think I made that much steam power. But hey, it's possible. But whatever the case is, my power situation is decent. It's just if I want to be secure about it, it would help if I add a little oomph, you know. So another thing I want to do is I am going to vacuum seal this up sort of a more efficient way. Where I'm just going to build tiles in here where there's polluted oxygen and stuff like that. And then remove the tiles and sort of just artificially destroy what I don't want. Okay. So the research that I have to get going, He is still just using up those databanks. And as you can see, a lot of the databanks are being stored directly in the virtual planetarium. There are some backup databanks in other storage bins, but that's not necessarily always the case. If we take a look at the star map now, both of these have... One has more isoresin. They have the same niobium content. So the left carbon asteroid for space resources would be a better destination to go. Yeah, and the other one has more diamond as well. So this left carbon asteroid is definitely the winner. But doing research in both is going to unlock a whole lot of opportunity for us. And that was sort of the point. It's far less about igneous, sedimentary. All right, let's make this sedimentary because we have rock close by that's sedimentary. It's far less about the research missions themselves and more about just getting the research done. The property of those aren't all that concerning to me. So yeah, my water has cooled down about 10 degrees already. And power usage. Okay, 22. And if we compare that with previous days, on high days, we're almost half of the power requirements. Now, of course, the long commutes, my commute times probably have gone up a lot because of the loss of the transit tubes. So if we take a look at commute times here, travel time for yesterday was 59%. And actually, you know what? Travel times really haven't changed that much. But some of that is just because where they're traveling to. It doesn't actually calculate work time or like work destinations or whatever. So if you're making a project right in your base, obviously the travel times are a lot shorter than if you're making a project somewhere far flung. So it's not a one-for-one comparison and shouldn't be considered as such. All right, so talking about the monument midsection, we are nearly at the steel required for it. It looks like we need a little bit more iron. So I'm going to switch the refinery to go over to iron. And let's see about raw ore. I still have 22 tons of raw iron ore, so it's not like I'm coming down. I'm not going to have a shortage, not likely. Okay, I really only care about the slime, but I'm just going to have them sweep up everything. And then let's take a look at germs. As you can see, there is some slime lung over here that hasn't been dealt with. Again, I probably have some more. I have the ability to make more flower pots. Speaking of flower pots, let's put in flower pots. Oh, unreachable. That's because my duplicates can't fly. Yeah, that makes sense. That whole area has been unreachable for quite some time. All right, other places with slime lung that I might be able to fight. Yeah, fight me, slime lung. You will lose every time. So there is some slime sitting in pockets here that would definitely be worth, in the long run, sweeping up. Just for safety's sake. Because if I ever remove the buddy bud, the slime lung will return. And then, because we've been working in a slime environment, the ladders, the transit tubes, there's a lot of stuff that has that is infected. So if you take a look, my disinfection task here, a lot of this is just disinfecting. Well, let's see. On here, there's floral scent. Actually, on the yeah, there's actually slime lung on these ladders. So it's a very labor-intensive disinfection, but That's one of the reasons why I've been fighting slime lung all this much, is because I didn't really want to infect everything. So I can run like ridiculous amounts of disinfection to make sure that my little super dupes don't have slime lung problems. Okay. And there's a bunch of slime lung in there. Now, if I start to do a crude oil auto bottle, fill this up with crude oil, I'll be able to sort of destroy that slime lung in the polluted oxygen, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm running low on buddy buds, though. So the other spot was here. I'm going to highly prioritize this. And we're sweeping this area up, and we'll get this ready. So the other problem with this, of course, is I have to send the natural gas. So the natural gas, I already have insulator pipes pretty close by. So this is one of the reasons why it was not that hard of a project. All I'd have to do is stick... Oh, wow. A little bit of lag there. All I'd have to do is run my gas pipes down here. Which is, yeah, it's lengthy, but it's not like a ridiculous run. So we'll have that queued up too. I'm finally getting to a point where there might be some space in my refrigerator soon, so I can raise the priority of my kitchen and actually get some cooking done. It's been kind of a while since I've done some cooking. Any regolith that is not in a bin should be put away. Okay. So let's take a look at research. We have basically all of the space research for the petroleum rockets, the hydrocarbon combustion, I should call them. That's almost fully completed. We are starting to fill this with crude oil. It's going to take a little while. It's going to be a lot of running. But once that's all filled up with crude oil, it will form an air seal or whatever, a liquid seal. And we can then use that spot. Igneous rock. Okay. I have plenty of it in storage, I guess. And a lot of it's still down here. I don't think we need to worry about igneous at the moment. I think we're okay. Okay. Looking at the reports for yesterday. Wow. Power usage was way down. And that's going to help to allow our... stretch our hydrogen. Actually, I think we have eruptions now. Nope. Oh, this hydrogen... I'm not entirely sure where this hydrogen is coming from. But I think we've been filling back up. Still dormant too? Yeah, next activity 3 cycles? Yeah, no problem. Easily we make that. So far, our steam generators have been keeping up with the added refining load that they've been doing, so that's good. I haven't. I know. Not needing to worry about that is nice. Taking a look at our ventilation lines, I want to double check that we have some sort of incoming filtration. I don't think we do. But I'm going to want that. Yeah. Much the way I check to make sure it's hydrogen, I don't check to make sure it's natural gas. But I should. So that's backwards. So let's do that. That would be smart. So the natural gas incomes to this. Let's put it here. This valve. Right. And then if it's natural gas, it dumps to a vent. If it's not natural gas, it dumps out. Nice. There. That's real easy to build. Then we want automation cables. Oh, you know what? We'll also want... Hang on, I'm going to actually change this a little bit. My bad. Let's make the gas pipe out one so that I can more easily do gas pipe element sensor. And then run our little check. So, this flows in. And mimicking this setup, if it's, you know, not the correct, it gets forked over. So, yeah. It's the same as this gas pipe element sensor build. And I made these all out of lead, right? Yeah, okay. They're all out of lead. Good. Okay, let's get that constructed. Some of this might be unreachable. I'm not really sure if they can reach it from that ladder. But if I don't see it built, I'll put some additional ladders in. Okay, over here, we've got... I don't really care if we sweep that up. We are done with the petroleum lock. Then what I was going to do over here is we have some sedimentary... What is this? Sediment? Yeah, we have some sedimentary. I'm just going to fill in the area with tiles. Well, let's fill this in first and then and go from there. Fill this in with tiles so that we can sort of just destroy the gases we don't want. And in terms of disinfection duties, I'm just going to have my dupes do them now. To do the disinfecting. I could also say disinfect at 0 germs. And that will do it for me. And I just have to make sure to put that back at some point. Because what would end up happening is they would constantly try to disinfect things that don't matter. But I can have that be set to that for now. Construction. Yep. All right, take a look at the slime lung. Oh, so body temperature of these Buddy Bud reached... It got a little too hot, I think. So I'll put a planter box here. And we'll cool it down. So let's see about... Okay, so there is slime lung over there. I'm just seeing about trying to kill off all airborne slime lung. If I am able. But it looks like I'm going to need a wheezewort or two. So how is our wheezeworts faring? Okay, they're faring well. I'm going to uproot 2 of these and repurpose them. And soon this slime lung should turn to fluorescent. And we're almost done sort of just deleting the gases that I didn't want. And I can do the same up here to the polluted oxygen if I want. Which might not be a terrible idea. Alright, in terms of disinfection, errands, that would be duties. Let's make sure to keep disinfecting where we need to. So to keep a tidy, safe base. And looking at the research, hydrocarbon is basically done. Oh, I'd need one more databank? Literally just one? Oh my goodness. Interstellar research, 399 out of 400. For real? Wow, okay. Feels like it rounded wrong or something. But that's okay. I can live with that. I'll just have to have one solid booster, and then that will be it. In effect. Alright, I think I had other buddy buds that were trying to fight off slime lung. Okay, this one's working. But it's always going to have work to do if I keep the slime. So, going to need to sweep that up. A little bit of maintenance this episode. A lot of the sort of nice to haves. Ooh. That just about doubles my raw iron. And, being reminded of raw iron, we now have enough for the monument midsection. So, looking ahead, the monument top is going to be glass, right? So that means I'm just going to say forever for now. Obviously, I don't want to make glass forever. Oh, this is unreachable. Why is it unreachable? Oh, because we don't have the ability to get to this ladder system. Because of the way the transit tube access worked. I think it actually would be faster if I did it like this. Alright, so let's put these ladders back in, and that glass will be reachable. I've been making glass. I was kind of surprised that my glass amount hadn't changed, and I was wondering about that. So let's say disinfect at... Wait, why are you guys slimy? Okay, let's put it back to 10,000. So it looks like they're disinfecting, like, neurotically. So, the way I built the sedimentary rock and then swept it up, turned this to vacuum, so it wasn't the sort of polluted oxygen that I didn't want introduced into my base, or into my, my natural gas. And then, speaking of natural gas, let's take a look over here. I will need automation wire. I'll need to say this needs to be natural gas coming through. And then we need an exit pipe here as well. But everything is just about ready to go. This also needs to be powered on, but I do believe I have a power cable right above it. Okay. That's looking good. Alright, so you filter natural gas. I don't think I've had any natural gas coming in through because this is dormant. Next activity is 5 cycles. And then our oil refinery hasn't really been refining. I can temporarily enable the oil refinery just to make sure that the filtration works. I have no reason to believe it wouldn't. And then what I'm going to do is mine up everything up here. Mining up this area and mining the slime might outgas polluted oxygen, and I will work to delete that oxygen or filter it. But all of the work in here, let's put to 8. And I can also now break down these sedimentary rock, and let's sweep what we mine. So it's a nice clean area. All right, taking a look at my cycle reports. Okay, we're sitting about 22K power. The transit tube accesses are still taking kilojoules. Oh, because this one is not disabled. That would explain a whole lot. I was wondering how that was, how I was still paying for the transit tubes even though I disabled them all. Now I understand. Alright, we'll also analyze this natural gas geyser to know its cycles. Taking a look at my hydrogen amount. It has stabilized. I think through electrolysis, we're making about as much hydrogen as we are using. And that means we did have to turn off 2 hydrogen generators, but it doesn't really seem to be much of a problem. We're keeping up. I just want to add a backbone ladder here so that we can build the monument. Our monument to science and unity of our duplicates. I don't know. I don't know what to call it. Alright, it does seem like this is dormant. It does not seem like it is currently outgassing. And then the last thing we're going to need is to wire this on. Which again, not so much of an issue. So we're almost done getting this ready. Now there is some polluted oxygen here. One of the things I meant to do is to purposely refine some oil. I'm going to set this to 9 so I can just see it done. Oh yeah, here's the natural gas. No, that's hydrogen. I want to see natural gas go through our filters before the end of this episode. So hopefully, you know, I don't even need this. All I need to do is set the sensor to 0. And then set it back to like 500. Alright, so here comes natural gas that we can watch be filtered in just a moment. taking a look. And that way, if polluted oxygen or something else that's not natural gas gets in here, it doesn't go where it shouldn't. So here it is, that brief spurt of natural gas pumping. And, yep, that looks good. I mean, I had no reason to believe it wouldn't work, but... Okay, we do have an auto sweeper that is overheating. Let's take a look. It is... We haven't had coolant through the system in a while. Because it's totally blocked up. Okay, so coolant below 100 Fahrenheit will get sent. That's my bad. It's part of the reason is I have too much petroleum into the system, and it can get clogged. Even with my double reservoirs, it still gets clogged. So for me to avoid future instances of that, either I remove petroleum from the system, or I, you know, lower the temperature tolerances or something. As long as the temperature of the petroleum is below 500, it's going to still act as coolant. So it's actually really easy to, like, get it the proper temperature. But, you know, whatever. I'm going to let the remainder... What's funny is I'm just talking about getting petroleum out of the system, and I'm about to introduce a little bit more petroleum into the system. But here comes our coolant line, and it will fix the overheating issues with this auto sweeper and conveyor loader in just a moment. The hydrogen of this chamber looks pretty good. The natural gas of this one looks good. Next activity in 32 cycles. So, yes, it's dormant. If I go to the materials overlay and go to gas, we do have a pocket of polluted oxygen with slime lung sitting right where the gas pump will eventually be. And this gas pump is set for steel. I probably will change that to gold amalgam just to save on steel. Oh, the other one's set to steel too. Huh. Okay, that's fine. Let's do an Atmos sensor set to 500 grams, just like the other one, mimicking it. So, an Atmos sensor made of, I don't know, copper. It doesn't really matter. I don't really have any refined iron. And this will be part of the construction. But if I don't have any refined iron, that means that this is blocked up. There it is. And before the very end of this episode, which ran a little long for you all, I want to get to a point where I can start the second monument part. Alright, so yeah, there we go. I'll set this to 9 and this to 9. It's getting cooled down. My coolant's doing a fine job. And now that it doesn't have to run through an aqua tuner, as you can see, it re-merges flawlessly. There is no delay or anything. So this can still be steam on demand if I need it. And obviously you can utilize your rockets that produce heat or space that produces heat to make steel. Or, to make steam. I don't feel like I need to do that right now, but like, it's a very doable process. Guess print up some more curative tablets. And I'm trying to think. So the colony reports for yesterday, transit tubes were removed entirely and it saved us even more power. Oh, my hydrogen actually seems to be going up. Is there a geyser active? Next activity 4.3. Oh, yeah. So the southern geyser is going. And as a result, our hydrogen amount should be recovering. So the very last thing I said I wanted to do is get the midsection at least put down. So let's get that done. I'm sort of waiting for this ladder to be destroyed. There's the midsection. And stop making molten glass. I think I have enough of it. Because now, as soon as we get about 2,700 more steel, we can do the top. And that will be the full monument victory. So that's all the time I have. I ran a little long. If you have any feedback for me, let me know in the comments below. Thank you all so very much for watching. I'll catch you all next episode. Farewell, everybody.